I got the horse right here.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Derby Day program. Derby Day. Sunday, September the 13th. We do have 9 races on tap, starting early at 12:50. Yep. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got 4 stakes races on the card, the Champion Series races.
Looks like the weatherman's going to cooperate too. It's supposed to be nice all weekend, which we really have our fingers crossed. There is a big pick 6 carryover into Saturday.
Pay attention. It could be getting near 50 grand.
Yeah, hopefully if nobody hits it on Saturday, it could be a huge thing to bet on Sunday on Derby Day, where we have a lot of big fields, as Mike mentioned, 4 stakes on tap, as well as the 2 Champion Starters races. Before we get into that, we're going to go back and look at the last 2 stakes from last Monday, the CTHS Sale Stakes. First one we'll look up at is 3-year-old boys. Horse to keep an eye on here is the 2 Mighty Fraser and the 6 Torneador. There they go. They break. Number 4, Lord Rosberg under Richard Hamill.
Yeah, making his first start of the year. First start in like 10, 11 months or something. And it was a tough, it's a tough ask to go a mile on the 16th. Got pressured hard by Mo Can Do It here. They went really silly fractions. Stone Ridge Ruler went out there for a bit and then dropped back. Then you see Toreador sitting in the 3-path laying third. But they went 23-1. And Lord Rosberg's really under pressure pretty much throughout, and that's definitely not the kind of trip he wanted off the big
When
layoff.
You're coming off a year layoff, exactly. Your first start in a year, you're going long. A lot of downside for poor Lord Rosberg, who was fighting admirably here, but as you mentioned, getting pressure and going in decent fractions.
Yeah, they went 46-1, and you see Mighty Fraser only has 2 horses beat right now. He's just cruising up on the outside on the second turn, moving into 5th. But he's getting the run of the race. Yeah. He was very comfortably ridden the first half mile, and now you see Lord Rosberg. Everyone's chasing him. Berard Breeze is trying to go by. Toreador is running 3 deep. But here comes Mighty Fraser cruising up in the 3-path. He has, I believe, Peace Arch on his outside, who ends up flattening out. But Toreador has the lead here. Lord Rosberg tries to fight. What a champion he is. He's trying to fight on, but that was it. He checked out of there pretty quickly. He actually it was impeded slightly. But definitely Mighty Fraser made the lead here, and he was not going to get caught. Toreador fights on valiantly on the inside. He actually shifts to the outside near the end of the race. But Peace Arch battling on, and Berard Breeze it on the inside. But those were your 4 horses.
But it was all
Mighty Fraser.
North
American Thoroughbred, Tor Taylor,
a couple lengths.
David Lopez, nice win in the CTHS 3-year-old Colts and Geldings division. Nice $60,000 purse for those that were bought out of the 2013 sale. Now up next will be the 3-year-old fillies.
And in my opinion, absolutely the most impressive race of the day. Watch number 3, Sailing for the Sun. Actually, Mike picked this filly. Well, it was 2 horses you had to look at. It was Sailing for the Sun and Quatracat. Sailing for the Sun is the 3. Quatracat is the 5. Those are definitely the 2 to watch throughout the race. The 3, Sailing for the Sun, gets the lead here, and gets some pressure with
the 1-horse Forestry's
Charmer.
Or is it Finality's Charmer? Yeah, I was thinking Forestry. I get them mixed up. But they're both Shaw horses, or formerly. But Finality's Charmer is out there, and
they're going 22
it's ridiculous.
and 3.
It was terrible.
46 flat. Sailing for the Sun.
22 and 3 is like silly, and Jeff's like having trouble with Sailing for the Sun, but she's just that nice. I mean, Quatracat's cruising up the inside, laying in 4th right now, getting the rails run, but she's cruising up pretty early into the race. There was her fast fraction, so she's going to feel the brunt of it late in the race, because they went 46 flat, I believe, for the opening half, and now she's rated behind it. Like she used a lot of horse to be where she was to lay 3rd, so she's. Unless she's a super filly, she's going to flatten out. But that was pretty early run past the stands to get that kind of position. It looks like Finality's Charmer is going to check out pretty soon. But Sailing for the Sun gets pressure. Here comes Quatracat moving again.
They're going 1-11-1.
Yeah.
And it looks like Quatracat's got it here.
Blow
she
by,
rolls up on the outside.
She's got it.
She actually gets by her by about a head. Maybe even a neck here. She does go by.
No, she does get a head in front.
Yeah.
Neck in front, you're right. But, Jeff keeps persevering. The filly gets a chance to see her. That's the thing with horses with blinkers. Sometimes it takes a while. If you're just going to inch by a horse with blinkers, you're going to have trouble, because this filly actually ended up seeing her and finally re-rallied and ends up drawing away to, I think, to win by a couple of lengths.
She ends up winning by almost 2.5, and final time of 1:45.3.
Wasn't the fastest time, but still, she did all the running. She did the 22 and 3, 46 flat,
lifting,
111. That was huge. That was an impressive performance. Congratulations to the Foundation Stables, Robbie Anderson, and of course Jeff Birmingham. Nice to see hard-working Jeff get a break and get a stakes winner with Sailing for the Sun.
A stakes winner, and he did have another one on the card, so it was a two-bagger for Jeff. But obviously, Sailing for the Sun was the highlight of the day. It was the highlight of the day for me, bar none. Just the performance she put in was.
No, she fought. I mean, I love horses that are having to fight all the way. She got no breather. Once she put away Finale Charmer, here comes Richard on Quadrigat. I mean, she had to sprint him on the 16th, and she did it.
Puts her away and still ends up.
She sprinted him on the 16th, basically, which is hard to do. But congratulations again to the connections of Sailing for the Sun. On to the Sunday card, we do have 9 races. We'll get right to it. First race, we get right into the stakes action. Fillies and Mares in the Delta Colleen. Got a field of 5. No Arabella's Muse. She's on the missing list. She was nominated and was the high weight, but did not enter. So things are far more wide open. Definitely makes it an interesting betting race. I ended up on the 2 Touching Promise. I'm going to try to get her into the winner's circle again. I liked her last time. Her and Lockett are the horses for me. I mean, it's 2-1 or 1-2. The mile and an 8 definitely favors Lockett, but she couldn't get there last time. But still, she was closing well, and there wasn't much pace. I don't think there's going to be much pace again unless Dear Lily decides to go crazy. But she needs to protect herself to go 9 furlongs as well. She just can't go out there and set 46 and change fractions and hang on. So I put Amber Moon in for 3rd. She was too close to the pace last time. I'll expect her to be less aggressively ridden. I'll let her drift back and make 1 run. I went 2, 1, and 4.
I went with Lockett just because she got really close last time, and I think there will be a bit more of a pace in here with Dear Lily. But it's close. I had Touching Promise, and I went back and forth with Lockett. I couldn't decide. It's those 2.
Yeah, it's a weight change too. Touching Promise picks up a couple more pounds off the win, and all that factors into when the horses are separated by this far, weight becomes a factor.
That 2 pounds could be a difference. So I did go with Lockett on top of Touching Promise, but those are definitely the 2, and I put Dear Lily in for 3rd. I went 1, 2, 3. In the first, on to the second. The Filly and Mare Champion, $50,000 for Fillies and Mares that have started for $8,000 or less the last 2 years, and then they were graded going into this race. I went with the horse. It's going to be the horse to beat in here, number 6, Habita. She's won 3 in a row, dropped into the $8,000 level to get eligible for this, won by 7 that day, came back, beat CA, missed by a head, and came back and beat Closing Intentions by 3 last time. Nobody else shows up. Habita, for me, looks very dangerous. I put Closing Intentions, who did get within 3 lengths for last time, in the 2nd spot. And I put Haida Gwaii, newcomer into here, ran 3rd behind these ones last time. Put her in the 3rd spot for trainer Mike Anderson and Jeff Birmingham. 6, 4, 7 for me.
I really like the 2 horse again, Maury's Glory. I liked her last time. She was very unaggressively ridden last time. She, for whatever reason, Amadeo decided to take her off.
Be on the lead going
she has to go to the front. She wanted. It ended up being in between horses. She's a horse that needs the lead. She's a need-the-lead horse, bar none. That's what she is. You want to take her back off the pace in between horses. She's going to suck herself back to last, and that's what she did. And she did not run a yard last time. She's a better filly than that. She is the fastest filly in here. Put her on lose on the lead. If you're going to lose on the lead. Don't lose being fit or trying to finagle your way or finesse her and try and lay second to get to the outside. You tried to get the outside of Habita last time. Another horse come running on the outside, and she ended up being in between, and she just hated it. She's not the easiest horse to ride, but she is one of the more talented ones when she gets the lead. She can go down there in 44 and change. She's shown that in the past. She's good enough. She's going to get the lead in this race. She's been good in the fall in the past. And if the track is off, I really like her, but I don't know if it will be. But I'm going to hope Amadeo can actually really send a horse, pretend he's on Herbie D, send a horse, and let it run to the lead and be tough. Yeah. Go 46. I don't care. Go 46 and 2, 111 and change. Catch me if you can.
Like I said, go down swinging.
Yeah, don't try and finesse a 114 opening 6 furlongs and bottle up the field. I like Maury's Glory. She's good enough. Habita, I agree with you. That's the horse to beat. And in Closing Intentions, I'm a Diva 2. Those are my next ones. Yeah. I went 2, 6, and 4, but I'm really going to take a stand on Maury's Glory. I want her on the lead, and if she gets there, I think she's going to be tough to beat. She'll be about 12 to 1. Third race, $25,000 older horses going 6.5 furlongs. I ended up on the Anita Bolton duo of Richter Red and Title Contender. They look like the 2 horses in here. Richter Red ran 2nd to Herbie D last time.
Because they're sprinting,
yeah. It's definitely a good I'm not crazy. The title contenders in the race with him. I don't know if both will run. It'll be interesting to see if they both run in this race. But I like one of the Anita Bolton runners. I went Richter Red over title contender, and I'm going to give Al Capone, who a good run last time, nice win, had good odds for Jon Snow and Rod and Ursula Bolivar. I put that one in for third. I went 2, 3, and 5.
This is why I started to say yesterday. It's the first time all year I've actually phoned Mike and said, who are you picking in this race? Because I had a lot of trouble with it. He said Richter Red or title contender. He went with Richter Red. I went with title contender. 7 starts of the distance, 3 wins, 3 seconds. He's definitely got the class and the ability to win this race. I don't know how good he is right now, though. He hasn't run since 18th of July, and the only work.
But he is a good 6.5 furlong horse. There's so many horses in this race, like Distillery, Off the Top, Senor Rojo. They're all mile 16 specialists. They're not at their best distance, and it's really, you know, a twist. I don't know. It's just, I just think the Anita Bolton runner, one of them has to win. I agree. I could make a good case for title contender. He's a horse that can go in 15 and 3 and win by 5 lengths. I mean, I can see that.
He's got a very good record sprinting, so I put him on top of Richter Red. You know, those are the two. As you say, sprinting that could be tough. So I went 3 with 2. And then I like 1, 4, 5, and 6 in the third spot. I landed on Senor Rojo. He's the leading money earner in the race, and he's been pretty consistent this year. What is he? 5 for 6 in the money this year. So I put him in for the third spot. I went 3, 2, and 4.
Go 3, 2 all.
In the third.
Don't leave one out.
Exactly, 3, 2 all. In the fourth. Now the boys' turn for the champion starter race, $50,000 pot. Going 1 mile and a 16th. And I landed on the 7 Weinstock again. The horse, you know, he's won 3 in a row here. Been very tough since coming to Hastings Park. You know, fits well into this category, and it has shown that. The last time going long, you know, he never run long before in his life, and went off and won by a couple lengths. You know, the 5-year-old son of Johannesburg. I got him on top. I went Gamby in the second spot, who absolutely lost all chance 2 starts back when Uncle Willard, who I did not put in, I know it's your top pick, I can't trust him after that day he bolted. Sometimes he doesn't.
Well, that was the mile 3. I think there's too many laps for him. That's all. And I gambled on him last time. They're mile 16. It was okay. We're only going 3 turns. The 4 turns threw him for a loop. He might not be the sharpest horse around, but
I don't think he's
can run a little.
Bright. But I put Gamby in the second spot, and I put Talkett's Charm in the third spot, who only got beat in neck by Uncle Willard last time, and they went in 47 and 3. If there's a bit more of a pace on it here, he's a cool horse that always comes around. I put him in the third spot. I went 7, 2, and 1 in a race. You know, you can make a case for a lot of these, but I did end up on Weinstock.
Yeah, I went back, as you mentioned, I went back to the 3 Uncle Willard. They ran the same day. Look at the fractions. 23 and 4, 47 and change. Yeah. Weinstock went 25, 49. Yeah. There's 2 seconds difference between fractions.
That's a big difference.
And Uncle Willard was fighting. He had a horse lapped on him the entire race. He never stopped running. He was extremely game. Talkett's Charm came to him, looked like he was going to run by. Uncle Willard did not let him by. Uncle Willard, for my money, is the best horse in this race, but he still will need, as you mentioned, he can throw some funky stuff at you. And, I don't want to see that Uncle Willard I saw 2 starts back. And neither does Gamby, who got taken right out of the race. But I put Gamby in for second and Weinstock. They're all 3 nice. These are the top 3 horses in the series. And all 3 of them have a big chance. Talkett's Charm's always dangerous on the right day if the fractions are right.
If Weinstock and Uncle Willard go, if they really press each other, look for Gamby or Talkett's
Chief
Charm.
Thundercloud, that was his first run long off the layoff. Like, it's only his 3rd start off a big layoff. Proxy, man,
I liked
this horse gets, he gets him a 16th mile last. He's a horse that, I know it's tougher he's running against, but he's a horse that can run away and throw some dynamic fractions at you. And I'm Big Trouble always runs good race. He got too far out of a slow pace last time, but it's a good little race. But definitely the contenders are 3, 2, and 7. I went 3, 2, 7 in the 4th. On to the 5th race. Start of your late pick 4. No, it isn't. It's actually a useless race. The 5th. It's the middle race.
It's in no man's land.
It's a no man's land. So you rest up between your pick 4s. $8,000 claimers going 6.5 furlongs. And I guess the 6 tracker, I don't know, you like him, you don't. I don't know. He had no excuse getting beat last time. But
he's the best horse in the race, but is he
Go for Guinness and Bear Rock and Roll. I just didn't like the way he hit the line. But, I mean, Bear Rock and Roll and Go for Guinness are miles better than the horses he's running against. That was like a $25,000, 12.5 he was in last time. This $8,000 race came up like a $62.50.
Yeah.
And it's really a nice spot for tracker. You got to go to him. I don't mind the 1-horse Game 7 or the 9 Casino Boss. Both are eligible to win at this level. Casino Boss was very impressive last time. Wide. This horse needs an outside draw. This horse is absolutely terrible when he's inside of horses.
And he got the 9, yeah.
And he drew the perfect post that he needs. He likes to run up. Being 3 wide is far better for Casino Boss than having a rail trip. So Casino Boss for me is another big chance. In Game 7, if the pace is right, he'll come running. They tried him along last time. You got to try him along in the series and see if he would handle it again, but he didn't. He just does not want to run a mile 16.
I know it's
He's
funny
a good late
because
closing sprinter.
Yeah, he's a late closing sprinter. The way he runs, you think, oh, this horse goes long.
More ground. He'd just be flying by horses.
And he's
not
good.
the case. He doesn't have the kick when he's being held for 6 furlongs. He has the kick when he's held for 3 furlongs.
Yeah, exactly.
And then make a run. But 6 furlongs is just too. You just don't have that. He doesn't have the stamina. Not the stamina, but I mean, he doesn't have that. That's not his.
He's not
DNA.
a router.
It's not in his DNA anyway. And he showed that again. But 691 for me in the 5th.
I went with the 6 tracker on top, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
He's the best horse in the race. If he brings anything close to his A game, he's going to be very tough. Casino Boss, I was very impressed with last time.
Yeah,
I liked him last time.
He's lightly raced this year.
Yeah, he just had the 1 start at Emerald,
forward.
then he came back up here, ran for 62.50 and made no mistake, winning by almost 3. And I put Iskar in the 3rd spot, another guy who's been running a lot higher his whole career. A couple good seconds behind Bear Rock and Roll, and It's Finally Friday earlier this year. 4.16. Drops in for his cheapest price ever. Antonio Reyes sticks with him. I didn't want to leave him off the ticket. Even though he's not really a sprinter, he's definitely got the talent to be
Still
in
at this
there.
level, they might be able to pull it off.
I got 6, 7, and 9 in the 5th. On to the 6th, the SW Randall plate.
Sam Randall.
Field of how many? What do we got? 10 in here. Field of 10 in here. Very competitive bunch. I've picked him 2 times in a row. Nobody else liked him. I'm going back with Square Dancer, the Hastings Racing Club horse. Obviously loves Hastings. He's 2 for 2 here. Steve Henson's done a masterful job with him. Richard Hamill won on him for 50. Scott Williams got up to beat Richard Hamill on Modern last time by a nose. He's got a good style for this track. Richard Hamill climbs back aboard Square Dancer. All systems go for Square Dancer. I put Mr. Bowling in the 2nd spot. Mario was supposed to come up and ride him, but he's got days for an infraction on the weekend. So Mario couldn't come. Aaron Grider was going to come.
How do you get days? He's always been in the winner's circle lately.
Well, he won that one too, but they took him down. He wiped everybody out at the head of the lake. He needed room. So he made room.
Of course.
And
a little elbow.
Yeah, he gave him a little Gordie Howe.
Here.
And he got days for it, so Mario does not come to ride Mr. Bull. And then Grider was going to come, and he's broke his foot. Aaron Grider had some mishap down at Del Mar and broke his foot. Antonio Reyes rides Mr. Bull, and I think he'll fit him.
Yeah.
And, he's had a very good year. 4-7 in the money, 2 wins, all in stakes company. Mr. Bowling for me in the 2nd spot. And I put Mysterious Soul in the 3rd spot. That last time he ran against Square Dancer, with 2 starts back, I should say, did all the heavy lifting going long. I think that might have taken a lot out of him. He might have bounced a little bit coming back in the Red Cup Classic. I'm going to stick with him. I put him in the 3rd spot. I went 6, 9, and 8 in the SW Randall.
Yeah, I agree. Square Dancer is the horse to beat in here. I'm not going to pick him, but I can see him being the horse to beat again. He continues to get good paces to run at, and he will likely get a good pace to run at again with Cowie Creek in the lineup. The newcomer Scat Daddy Baby in the lineup. There's going to be some fractions going 9 furlongs. I'm going to go to the 5 Brass and Gold. I liked him last time. I liked him the time before. He continues to run good races. He didn't get beat far to Square Dancer a couple starts back after he tried to win the race on the backstretch going 4 deep, and I just think this horse has always run his best races when he's held on the rail and make a late run. And the mile and 8 suits him to a T. He won easily against easier company last time, but still, I thought it was a very good run, and I just think he's going to get a good trip. I think he's going to get a perfect trip sitting in behind Cowie Creek and Scat Daddy Baby. The other 7 horses in here appear to want to take back, and he's going to get a very, very easy trip. So I'm going to try Brass and Gold, maybe to be the one that upsets Square Dancer, and I put Mr. Bowling in the 3rd spot. I agree for the reasons you mentioned. He's a cool horse. Maybe he's a tad off form. We'll see. But and I agree with Mysterious Soul being in play as well. He's a horse that did bounce last time. Tried to do all the chasing. Tried to go with Modern. It cost him. He was coming back in 2 weeks off a lengthy layoff prior to that tough run on July the 15th. So that race was better than it looks like on paper, and he's a better horse than that race as well. So I think it's 5, 6, 8, 9, but I did go 5, 6, and 9 in the Randall Plate. On to the 7th, the BC Oaks, $100,000 championship race for the 3-year-old fillies going 9 furlongs, and You're gonna love me for this.
I saw
love
this.
the.
I hope you're right.
I love the dad's horse, the 4 Ambleside. I don't love him. I mean, I just think I want an off the pace horse in this race.
Yeah.
Here's Amore, the 1 horse. Nice pace horse. He sets good fractions, goes out there. The 2, Some Gave All, wants to be near the lead. Eustacia also coming in from Alberta, near the lead. Suva Harbor tried to wire the field in the Washington Oaks. Morning Coffee goes to the front. Yeah. There's 5 fillies in here that want to lead. I want Antonio Reyes to be 100 lengths back, maybe not 100, but I want him to be a long ways back. Yeah. Make 1 run, and I think he'll find 5 fillies that might be a little wobbly-legged in the stretch, and he can win it. So I'm going to try Ambleside Park. That race actually in Washington wasn't bad. Again, didn't lose by much to Suva Harbor. Didn't get the best of trips. Didn't get the right pace scenario. But I think
looked like she was going to hit the board for sure at the head of the lane, but she had a pretty long, prolonged move in that race.
She's on her home track too.
Yeah.
Whereas Suva Harbor's, visiting, making a new start at Hastings. This is Ambleside Park's home track. I know she hasn't had the greatest season this year. I think timing is everything. Sometimes it's the fillies get good in the fall, certain fillies, and dynamics. I just think the dynamics of the race are going to help the 4 Ambleside Park. She's going to be 10, 12 to 1, and I just want to make everyone evidence that there is a shot for this horse at 12 to 1. I put the 6 horse Morning Coffee in the mix as well. You got to respect, and the 1 horse Heroes Amore. She seems to be the best filly coming in from Edmonton. I went 4-1. I went 4-1 and 6, but I do like Ambleside Park.
I hope you're right. I took Morning Coffee. 2 starts here at Hastings, 2 impressive performances. But I mean, as you mentioned last time, she did get a 25 and then a 48. So fairly soft fractions.
Easy, man.
But she's been the
things are tougher.
It will be
maybe she won't need to lead. I don't know.
But she'll be the tougher. She's been the toughest filly since arriving here at Hastings. She's 2 for 2 for Rosie Anderson and Wheeled and Thoroughbreds. I put her on top of Suva Harbor. Bell Hill's a very nice filly. She went to the
she's
lead.
an awesome filly. She deserves to be at Santa Anita.
Yeah,
on Bell Hill.
Yeah,
you'll see that Emerald Downs filly that Larry Ross has head down. So.
Yeah. Bell Hill's very good, and as you mentioned, she set up all the early fractions last time and just got passed by Bell Hill late. I put her in the 2nd spot, and I put Ambleside Park in the 3rd spot. Not sure how tough the fillies from Edmonton are. I
know you left them all out. I know the 1, 2, 3.
The one from Emeralds and the one the home court advantage to Ambleside Park. I went 6, 5, and 4 in the Oaks.
Derby
on
time.
to the big one, the Derby, back up to $250,000 this year. Mike's got the Derby hat on.
Not a great one, but whatever.
It's a hat nonetheless.
Yes.
I went to the 2 Academic. A very, obviously a very nice filly, winning the Woodbine Oaks. You have to be able to run to do that. Queen's Plate, I know she washed out really bad on post break. She is kind of a flighty kind of filly. You throw that race out, comes back in the Canadian Derby. Was close to decent early fractions. Put away Blue Dancer, won by 8. Just a phenomenal performance by her. I got Academic on top. Local hero, Bluegrass Angus, done nothing wrong here so far this year. Got beat first race by Cedarburg. Undefeated since then. He's definitely the best horse here at Hastings. I got him in the 2nd spot. And in the 3rd spot, I went with my heart. This is a horse that I've been picking all year long, I know. Well, it's in the 3rd spot.
Okay.
Well, after those 2, I think it gets a little murky. And I went with Creus.
Okay,
I've liked him all year long.
Yeah.
He only had that 1 bad race in the Chris Loseth. Other than that, he's been very consistent. Much more so than Sedin, the horse that beat him last time. I put Creus with my heart for the Mike Anderson barn in the 3rd spot. I went 2, 5, and 1.
I agree with the top 2. They look to be the best horses, the filly Academic and the 5 Bluegrass Angus. I really don't see anyone. I don't know. It's Blue Dancer, I did not pick in the top 3. I guess the shortening up to 1 1/8 miles will help Blue Dancer. But
I wouldn't be standing there with my mouth wide open if he won.
No,
that's for sure.
No, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's out there by 2 lengths with Rico Walcott. All he does is win derbies, and Greg Tracy wins nothing but stakes races too, so it wouldn't be a shock. But I went Academic over Bluegrass Angus. That's the one thing that stopped me from putting Blue Dancer on top was the fact that he's going to be surrounded by the major contenders. Bluegrass Angus has speed. He's going to be in play. Academic has speed. She's going to be in play. The front end is going to be a little congested, and so Blue Dancer is not going to get a 3-length lead or any.
And you're not going to have a false horse up there pressing that's going to fall apart at the half-mile pole. You're going to have a horse pressing you.
You have a real horse beside you, and I don't know. Maybe Blue Dancer has proven that he can win here. He ran a big race to defeat Lord Rothsburg last fall.
In the Ascot,
and he's a cool horse. He went on to Santa Anita, ran of the Breeders' Cup. I mean, it's a nice quality horse. But I've left him off the ticket. I'm going to go academic. I got to go with the filly that she looks like a cut above. You know, she just, you know, she won the Canadian Derby easily. She handled that. She's come here. She seemed to have handled everything well. Justin Stein shows up to ride. Nice to see Justin back in town.
Yeah,
of course, one of our former top riders. And
just won his 1,000th race the other night.
Yes, that was cool. And I saw that on the DRF site. And congratulations to Justin on his amazing 1,000. That's a lot. That takes a lot. I don't think he'd been riding that long, but I mean, because 100 wins a year is a lot.
Yeah.
That's 10 years to be riding, though, to get
which
1,000, which is what he's doing. Wow, time's flying too fast, buddy. But Bluegrass Angus for Copper Water Thoroughbreds and Craig McPherson, how can you fault him? I mean, this horse ran well last time. Was it his best race? Probably not, but why would it have been his best race?
It didn't need to be,
He had missed a bunch of time because of the BC Cup races and the, you know, that served as a great prep, the Derby trial, for this race. I think you'll see a much better Bluegrass Angus. I hope he handles the paddock and everything, because he is kind of he's another one that gets warm.
Yeah.
Like Academic. I mean, they both get a little warm, and you know, they need things to be, you know, no hiccups, nothing, no change in the scenery or anything. They need things to be really good. And Bluegrass Angus is always a cool horse, and it'd be nice to see him win. My third horse ended up being the 9, Percy Fawcett, for Frank Lucarelli, my golf buddy Frank. Luke, he's a better trainer than he is a golfer too, and, but good run last time in the Emerald Derby behind Prime Engine. He's an off the pace type that I think that might you know,
take advantage of what should
to
be
get
a
a
fairly
good pace. I almost looked at Merlot. If Merlot had a better schedule coming in, I know Dino likes the horse. He's had hiccups. He's been in scratch, in BC Cup scratch, in another time scratch. He's had some hiccups with Merlot, and I really was trying to make a case for Merlot. I want an off-the-pace horse here to hit the board, and I think I'm going to go Percy Fawcett, though. So I went 2, 5, and 9 in the BC Derby. On to the 9th and final. I got some $5,000 starter horses here going a mile and 3/8. Got 9 of them signed on. I ended up on the 2, Francer's Finest. A good run, 2 starts back in his Soyuz, but last time he had a battle on the head end with Uncle Willard.
Yeah.
And I think you'll really see that Uncle Willard is a nice horse, and I think if he wins the earlier race, you'll see how tough Francer's Finest was because he was the one fighting with him and ended up tiring to run 4th. That's not tiring; it's just being outrun.
He only got beat 2 lengths.
So I think he's live. I'm not crazy about losing Hamill though to a Texas Buccaneer, but we pick up Sean Savici, but he did win on him up in a Soyuz. I put the 4-horse What Goes Around in for second. He is coming back quickly in just 9 days, but he was a comfortable winner in a non-3 for 4. He's run against a lot better horses in the past, and a mile and 3/8 might just hit him perfect, so it'll be interesting. And I put the 8-horse Tapacero in for third. I like Tapacero. He's always a nice horse, and I think the extra distance might help the son of Tapit, so I went 2, 4, and 8.
Yeah, interesting when you go a mile and a 3/8. I went with the 6, DJ Snow.
I don't know if he wants to run that far.
That's the only thing. If he wants to go that far, that's the only question I have.
That was my knock on him, not his ability. His ability's there.
That's what scares me. I thought there was a good third last time behind Uncle Willard and Talkett's Charm. This isn't as tough a race as he was in there, but it is going a mile and 3/8. But he is on a bit of a roll. You know,
Amadeo can do it.
Nice win for 8,000, and you know, he's got a nice kick to him. I put him on top. I put Tapacero. Son of Tapit, he will get the mile and 3/8. I like Tapacero quite a bit in here because he can get the distance. And Texas Buccaneer, who's won at the distance, is kind of the only horse in the race that's proven at the distance, is the 5, Texas Buccaneer. Those are the 3 I went with. 6, 8, and 5 to close out Derby Day. That'll do it for our analysis of the big day. Derby Day. Up next on the screen will be our picks. Mike,
here comes a recap. Back in race number 1. I got a bunch of deuces. I got the 2. A bunch of
all
twos.
over the 2s.
2s. 2, 1, 4 in the opener with Touching Promise on top. Race number 2, I went to the 2. Maury's Glory over the 6, Sabita. Bit of an upset in race number 2. Race number 3, I went to the 2 again. Richter Red, 2, 3, and 5. In race number 4, I'm going to put the 2 in the second spot. I'm going to call for the 3, Uncle Willard, to win it. 3, 2, 7 in race number 4. Which is the start of the Pick 6, the Sea to Sky Pick 6. So everyone try and figure out those tickets. We'll see if there's going to be a carryover going into the Sunday program. Race number 5, I went to the 6, Tracker, 691. Race number 6, I went to the 5, Brass and Gold over the 6, Square Dancer, and the 9, Mr. Bowling. Race number 7, this is the BC Oaks. I'm going to call for an upset with the 4, Ambleside Park, 4, 1, and 6 for me. Race number 8, a filly to defeat the boys in the BC Derby. She did it in the Canadian Derby. I think she can do it again. The 2, Academic over the 5, Bluegrass Angus, and the 9, Percy Fawcett. And in the marathon, the race number 9, I went to the 2, Francer's Finest, 2, 4, and 8.
On to my picks. In the first I'm going for mild upset number 1, Locket, over the 2, Touching Promise, and the 3, Dear Lily, in the Delta Colleen. In the second, the starter race for the girls, I went to the 6, Habita, over the 4, Closing Intentions, and the 7, Haida Gwaii. In the third, very tough $25,000 race, I went to the 3, Title Contender, over the 2 and the 4. In the fourth, the boys' turn for the starter race, I went to the 7, Weinstock, over the 2, Ganbei, and the 1, Talk Its Charm. In the fifth, I went with Tracker in for $8,000 over the 9 and the 7. In the sixth, the SW Randall, my third time straight picking him, number 6, Square Dancer, over the 9, Mr. Bowling, and the 8, Mysterious Soul. In the seventh, the Oaks, I went to the 6, Morning Coffee, over the 5, Suba Harbor, and the 4, Ambleside Park. In the eighth, the big one, the Derby, I agree with Mike on the top 2. I got Academic, the filly. Trying to be the first filly in like 65 years or something like that. I think it was 1955 or something, I think was the last
Strawberry Morn led every jump of the way. The poor thing. New Digs got her.
But yeah, Academic trying to be the first filly in over half a century to win the BC Derby. I got her on top of Bluegrass Angus and the 1, Creus. And in the nightcap, I went to the 6, DJ Snow, over the, what numbers? The 8 and the 5.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in to this special Derby Day edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. Once again, a reminder that next weekend, we still got more stakes action. Saturday, September 19th, and of course, Sunday, September 20th. The 20th, we do have both futurities. $100,000 Jack Diamond, and of course, for the Colson Geldings, and the $100,000 Sadie Diamond futurity for the 2-year-old fillies, both going 6.5 furlongs. So still, championship month continues at Hastings. Lots of titles on the line. Lots of exciting racing action.
After that, we get into the premiers.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot going on.
Fantasy,
That's the fun part about the end of any race meet. I know you're always sad when the end of a race meet comes, but still, it means the big races are coming, and that is the case again next week. On behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully everyone enjoys Derby Oaks Day. It should be a lot of fun. We'll see you next time here on Handicappers Corner.